Alright, this is my easy way of removing an RF box on these. So you've got these 3 grounds and these 3 wires that all need to be removed. First, in prep, I'm just going to put a little flux on all these, and then I'm going to put a little leaded solder on it. This will help just the flow out a little better when I suck it. Just putting a lid on each. And these bigger grounds will require a little bit more heat. If you have a desoldering pump, that's probably the easiest way, but I'm going to do this with braid first, just to show how it is possible. So I'm going to just take some standard braid. I'm going to get on these pins. The leaded solder I put on really helps, allows all the solder to flow. Alright, so now my goal is to make sure that these pins are loose and free. See how they're not really moving at all? That means there's a little bit of solder on the edge that is holding it. So I'm going to try and free it up. Alright, so I still have a little bit of solder on these edges of these pins. So I'm going to try and use my braid again and see if I can't get the rest of it, but I probably won't. It's probably down there too far. But what you can do is you can kind of wiggle the pin, and it's not really working for me. Let's try and do this one. Just trying to get all the solder out of that hole. Let's see if we can't wiggle it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit more flux on. I'm just going to heat the pin up to where it moves. Then I'm going to grab it with my tweezers. Maybe get some bigger tweezers. Let's use these. Alright, see how that pin is now free? Heat this one up. It is stuck on the side. That one's still not free. See how that one's free now? There's still just too much solder in this hole. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-put solder back down in it. Reapply flux. And I'll try and suck it out again. I'm going to try my little wiggle pen here. Still didn't get it. Still did not get it. Alright, there we got it. So now all 3 pins are loose. So to do these other ones, I recommend on this front one, you normally can get a pair of cutters in. So I'm going to try and cut this first one. I may not be able to, we'll see. Yes, I was able to cut that. So that'll make the rest of the process a lot easier. Now you don't actually have to cut it. You can do it without cutting, but that just makes it easier. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a pair of pliers. I'm gonna hold the bottom of this. And I'm gonna heat this one side up. I'm just gonna let the heat get in there. I'm gonna try and move this around. Looks like this top may come off, but let's keep working on it here. See, pulled right out. If that first one's not out, it doesn't want to pull out. You can kind of wiggle it forward sometimes, but it's easier to cut it. So now I'm going to heat this side up and it should fall right out. So now I just have a few things to clean up here. I've got this little guy that was in there. That is now out, and I will go ahead and a little flux on these. And I'll go ahead and just suck these holes out. All right. And then let me, looking for some paper towel. I have the tiniest slither right here. Just spray some isopropyl alcohol on it. Just do a little bit of scraping. And it is removed. And on the other side, you can kind of see a little bit where I scraped that from cutting, but that's not going to be a problem because this is just a ground plane, and our DIN connector will sit over the top of that. But you need to make sure that these two ground planes are in good shape, so you don't want to rip those pads off. And that's how you remove an RF port easily.